And we are back with a special Sunday Get Stoned edition of Square Table. I gotta see what the show's called. Square Table Degenerates. I'm your outstanding host, Joey Edibles. With me today is very special guest, local comedian, the legendary Mr. John Brown. How are you today,
What's
sir?
up, man?
How's life, man? How's life been treating you, bro? You've been doing a lot of fucking traveling, man.
Pretty good, yeah. I was listening to some hip hop on the way here.
Okay.
And I've always been a big hip hop fan. And so now I'll click on like the new release albums and just like click on one I haven't heard before. And 90% of them are trash. Nowadays it's like,
is it the auto tune for you?
Yeah, dude. It's just and I don't know, like I just listened to that Young Boy Never Broke Again.
I never even heard. Who was the singer? Who's the singer of this song?
No, that's his name.
Oh, Young Boy Never Broke Again. Nice.
And his first song, he starts out with "She Puts the Pussy on Me," and I'm like, this is an aggressive start to an album right here. Like, I don't know.
He puts the pussy on me.
It might be a bit I might have to do at some point.
That's great, man. Well, if you see us looking up, guys, it's because we're watching the Red Zone here. And this is NFL Sunday. The Browns ain't playing today. You guys know we went to the game Thursday. We're watching the Browns game. Did you go to the game Thursday?
I did not. I sold my tickets.
Would you have a show to do?
No, dude, I could not find anybody to go with me that was willing to pay for the ticket. So I was like, I'm just going to get rid of him. I hooked up with a buddy that I haven't seen in a while that I went to high school with. I went to a bar. Watched it. It was a good time, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, we do see your comment, Christy. How are you? Laz is also in the house. What up? Dan Anderson said hi earlier. What's up, Big Dan? Chilling. Yeah, so, the Browns play Thursday. I mean, you got season tickets, too, right? You got season tickets to the Browns. How long you been a season ticket holder with the Browns for?
I want to say 6 years, maybe.
Okay. So you bought them right when they were 0-16?
I was like 2 years before the 0-16 season.
Oh, geez.
I don't know how long ago that was.
You were all in then. I did.
Yeah.
I didn't. Because back then, dude, 16, 17. For those of you in Europe who don't know or whatever, the Browns were like, they won one game in 2 years, and that's a 16-game season.
Yeah.
So the record was 1-31. I kind of knew the team wasn't going to be good, so I didn't really buy the season tickets that year. After the first 3-4 weeks, people were just giving the tickets away, or you get them for face value, so I didn't fuck with it.
Well, it worked out for me, though, because, when I first got my season tickets, I was the same section, 101, but I was up in the, like, upper level, like, I don't know, like 40 rows up probably.
Okay. And
in 3 years, I moved down to row 10 in the section 101. So I'm like right where the visiting players come out of the tunnel.
Oh, that's an okay section. Yeah. You know what? The north side of the stadium. Oh, Chrissy, I will check that out later. That's pretty cool. She says there's some Browns auction stuff. She's taking my community table to take a look.
Oh, nice.
But that section, the north side of the stadium, gets so much sunlight. So I picked, when I bought my season tickets, Connie, what up? How you doing? On the back side of the stadium, because the stadium sits right in the lake, and the north side always gets the sun for the 1 o'clock Sunday game.
Yeah.
And you boil in September. So I picked on the shade, so I get the shade. Man, I love the shade. I got 5'11" on the south, like I said, the south side. It's not too bad. I mean, it's on the aisle. I gotta have the aisle because I'm big. I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
200 plus 250. I don't know what the fuck I weigh. I don't weigh myself. Who cares? But it's like my buddy, he's over 300. My other buddy's fucking about over 6 foot, over 250. So, dude, that's like 800 pounds of beef and 3 seats, dude. We need the aisle, bro.
Yeah, I'm on the aisle. I'm seats 1 and 2.
Oh, hell yeah!
Section. So those seats are tight though, dude. I hate the seats of the Browns.
And
mine,
so small.
Mine, I have a big complaint with my seats, and that's that because I'm seats 1 and 2, and there's the tunnel right there. I only have 1 cup holder for 2 seats.
Oh, geez.
Pisses me off, dude. There's one in the middle, and I'm like, they couldn't put one like on the concrete, like what the fuck?
Well,
they have them on the concrete all the way down the side. Like, why can't they put one right here?
Well, is it like an angle, or can you put it like on the rope? You know what I mean? You know how they have like an aisle or what the fuck is those called?
Like, it's basically like there's a seat in front of me, and then there's a cup holder, and then there's a seat, and then there's the wall.
Oh, could you put it on the wall? Or no?
That's what I'm saying. They could just put one on the wall.
Well, no. Could you physically put the cup on the wall, or is the wall angled?
No, it's just a straight wall.
Okay.
Yeah, so they could put one on the wall, and I've emailed them about it. plenty of times. Like,
I emailed them once too. We were at God, this is probably the kids were babies, maybe 2010 or 11 or 12, somewhere in there. And I had like the baby stroller, and some fucking jackass said, "You can't sit there with the baby stroller," or something. I said, "It says right here you can," and I emailed them. They never fucking responded back. They don't listen to the fans much. I mean, I don't think they do. The Browns don't give a fuck, dude. They don't. I mean,
it's the gift was awful this year, and it was awful last year, and it's gotten to the point where it's like, dude, what happened? Like, because this was like they used to give us awesome shit. Like I got like an igloo cooler one year. Like I got 2 of those. They gave me 2 of the beanie caps one year. The really cool ones.
I like those ones. The gloves were even serviceable. I fuck with the gloves because you can text the gloves are okay.
Yeah.
This year, what was that? That hat? What the fuck was that? That was an insult.
Yeah, the hats, the painter's hats. Oh. It looks like the hat that Woody Harrelson wore in White Man Can't Jump. Like that's what I picture when I see those hats. Dude,
it's so fucking. And then what was? Didn't they do? Oh, the license plate holder. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let me mark my car when I go to travel these other games out of city. They're gonna see Cleveland Browns license plate. Let's bash his windows in.
Yeah, and all the people that hate the Browns because of Deshaun Watson.
Right. Let's
immediately know that
target my fucking car and shit. My God, dude. My God.
Yeah.
So we get sidetracked, little Browns channel. We're probably bored some of you people overseas. That's okay. That's what we do. So when let's go back. Let's go back in time, bro. When were born? Like where were we born?
Where were you born? I was born in Texas, actually.
Texas.
In 1986. Yeah.
86. You were 10 years younger than me. Okay.
Yeah. I grew up there and I moved back to Ohio when I was 13. I say back to Ohio because my whole family's from here. My 2 older brothers were born here.
Okay. So, why were you down in Texas? Your dad in the service or something?
No, my dad the fucking factories were all closing around here in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad lost his job and they moved down there, and then as soon as they could, they moved back to Ohio. So I lived down there for 13 years. I saw snow once. You know, like
coming back up here to fucking blizzards of the
lived in like an extremely diverse city, and then moved to Cuyahoga Falls, and I had fucking like one Asian person in my 8th grade class, and like it was all white people, and it snowed all the time. It was culture shock, man.
They call it Caucasian Falls for a reason. It's
oh yeah,
it's pretty lily. Well, at least it was. But I mean, I've been there a couple times. Obviously, Blossom Music Center's out in Cuyahoga Falls, so I go there for that. And there was like 1 or 2. Well, I went to Kent State for college, so I've been out there for that.
Yeah, it's not a bad city. It's just there's no diversity there at all.
No,
like it is pretty white.
All right, so where'd you go to high school at? You were out there.
Cuyahoga Falls.
Cuyahoga Falls High School. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, were you like a class clown? Did you fuck around a lot? Did you tease people? What were you like in high school? Dude?
I was the type of person I think that everybody liked, but wasn't like. I wasn't a big partier or anything, so I didn't go out and I partied with people from other schools because Cuyahoga Falls, I don't know if you know how the houses are set up there, but they're right next to each other. So you knew anytime you went to a party, it was going to get, the cops were going to get called.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't party a lot in high school, but I think everybody liked me because I was funny. I mean, but in Texas when I was growing up, that's when I was really like class clown and made my one buddy. He still makes sketch videos and shit. He's got a couple TikToks with 1 million views on them.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't fuck with the TikTok, dude. What's up, Sam? How you doing? Sam's from Australia. Cheers, Sam. Yeah, the TikTok sidebar here. TikToks, I know that we'll get into some leanings here soon because I want to find out like where you lie with all this woke comedy bullshit. Because I think you're a little bit on both sides. I think that's a good assessment. But but I think this whole TikTok stuff. If you go down that rabbit hole and you find out, all this stuff. That CCP, Chinese Communist Party, is so involved in that. And there's so much data mining. And I know that Facebook and Google and everybody else does the same thing with the data mining and taking your information. But man, and Grant, yes, I know it's probably just one Rogan video that swayed me, but my goodness, if you actually do read that shit, and read what TikTok does, my goodness, bro. It
is crazy. I guess with me, like I am trying to build a following on there a little bit, and I think with me, it's more of like I guess I'm willing to risk my privacy to further my comedy career. You know what I'm saying?
True,
like
true.
That's how I look at it, but I don't know.
Well, also, too, at the end of the day, if there's 100 million Americans on Tic Tac, I mean, who the fuck is John Brown in the grand scheme of things?
Right,
What are they going to do with the information? You see, we got to fuck Burger King last week. Right, they don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? So I guess there is that play into it. Now, go back to the Texas league. So Texas, Cuyahoga Falls. Did you did you play any sports? Did you just
football? Yeah.
Okay, football. Okay.
I didn't play after my sophomore year of high school.
Same exact here, dude. I played freshman, sophomore. I swear to God, 9-10, I played, and I didn't play after that. And there was a reason for that. Well, one was, I was, the backup. I didn't have a starting position. I was always a backup right tackle, a backup left tackle. There's no place on the line for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, when you're not starting, you don't get the glory. You're standing on the sidelines, you're kind of why is this? And another thing, too, was that, I went to Cleveland Central Catholic, right?
Yeah.
We got two campuses, one on the east side, one on the west side. And you had to go all the way to the west side or east side campus to go fucking lift weights and shit. And this is back in the night. I'm trying to take a bus all the way to the other side of town. You know what I mean? And then the third contributing factor why I quit football is I found alcohol. And I was a drinker. I drank like there's no tomorrow in fucking high school, son. I was a fucking drinker. Bro.
Yeah, with me, it was more it didn't have as much meaning, I guess, because I grew up in Texas. And my brothers were graduated 95, 97. They both went to the state championship games and shit. And it was just the whole town shut down for Friday nights, it was crazy. And then I got here, and Cuyahoga Falls isn't a big football city. And it's just they were never really that good. It's you didn't really have a chance to make anything of yourself in football in Cuyahoga Falls. So it kind of just wasn't as fun because there weren't the stakes, I'm a very competitive person. So when it's not, it's not going to be that competitive. It's why do it?
Right. I mean, it's like that. Ohio's weird because some communities will have that. When I first moved to North Olmsted, I used to take my stepdaughter Kayla to games. You could just go up there and shit. She used to have fun with her friends. I don't know. They never felt that community sense. And she never really got into the high school spirit stuff. So I never really felt that. And then the kids going to a private school, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But I was always jealous of places like Avon Lake and shit like that. They have really banger programs. You know what I mean? Friday Night Lights is fun shit, man.
Yeah.
I got buddies down in Mansfield and they're always talking about, all the different programs and shit like that. It's fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, would I have, there's probably a reason why I didn't continue playing high school football. Yeah, who knows where I would have been with the concussions. You getting hot here? I can turn the air conditioner.
I'm good. Whatever.
Man, I'm probably just hot because I'm fucking talking so much. All right, so you graduated high school. Did you were you going to join the service? Did you go to college? You no thoughts of joining?
No, I had thoughts of it, and my dad talked me out of it. He was in the service. So
okay.
He talked me out of it, and I'm glad he did because I wouldn't have survived in the military.
Well, you were about 10. You're 10 years younger than me. So when did you graduate? I graduated in 95.
I was 2004, so I was when everybody was trying to have the 9/11 let's join up spirit. It was.
I remember those days.
Yeah,
bro. It was the 90s service was wild, man. We just did whatever kind of. I remember guys pulling onto the base, 6-pack beer, just driving around, they didn't give a fuck. And then 9/11 hit, and they started slowly taking everything more seriously. They took the PT test more seriously. Yeah, we're watching the red zone too. If you want to comment on the games, we'll comment along with you. We got the red zone up, so this is just kind of a bullshit thing. All the Bengals looked a nice INT there. I think the Bengals are going to win that game, dude. They're the Jets are just not that good. They got lucky as fuck against those Brownies.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was horrible.
Have you ever watched or have you ever listened to 92.3 The Fan?
I listen to them quite a bit.
On a day that the Browns don't play on Sunday. Dude, they do this cheapened radio version of the red zone. And it's the most boring thing I've ever listened to.
I've actually heard that back in the day. I remember that. There was they're like, all right, now we cut to Ian Eagle. He's over in Kansas City. It was like, oh, we got a 6-yard drive going here.
And it's just people talking while watching the game. It's almost like they just have somebody at their house watching the game and commenting on it. And it's this isn't even a play-by-play. What is this? For shit like that, I used to just get my because when I used to have guard drills and stuff, that's one thing I retired the second I hit 20 years. Yeah. Because when I first got in the 90s, the Browns were on the way out. My day I shipped out for basic training was the day they announced something. Or I know what it was. I was supposed to ship out the first time, but I didn't make weight. But that was I had to go down to MEPS 5 times because the first time I didn't make weight, then I went down again, I didn't make weight, and I said, come back again, I did make weight.
And then I was supposed to ship out again. Then I didn't make weight. And I came back again. I made weight that time. Then I shipped out. So it might like 5-6 times.
Yeah.
But my first time that I was supposed to ship out, that's when they announced the move like the week before. So that whole time they were doing back then in 95, they were like, oh, the Buccaneers might move here, this and that. They were throwing all kinds of random scenarios. But like, so from the 90s, the Browns weren't existent. It was no big deal. But when they came back, man, because we had to do 1 week in a month, every single Sunday would just eat me up, dude. I fucking hated it. I hated it. It was like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I sitting? And it's like they would get hostile about it. Like, oh, we're turning off that TV. You're not going to watch that. You know, what else are we going to do? Oh, sit all around here and do nothing. You're going to do nothing for fucking 4 hours.
Yeah, dude. My dad basically told me, it was like, you're not cut out for the military. And I'm glad he did, because he was right. Like, you know, like I wouldn't have lasted through basic. There's no way. Well,
my thing, I was never too like the physical stuff. I mean, you can give me any physical stuff, I could probably do it. I'm just lazy, dude.
Yeah, same. That's why I'm lazy as fuck.
My whole thing too is I don't like taking orders from people just for the sake of orders from people. Like, oh, go sweep this floor. Why am I sweeping this floor? Oh, we need something to do. No, we don't. The floor doesn't need to be swept. I don't need to be doing that shit. There's nothing on that floor. Oh, you got to do it because I'm a higher rank than you. Blah, blah, blah. I never hated. I always hated that, you know, authority for the sake of authority stuff. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, but no, I just was gonna go to Toledo for college after high school. Set up my room and everything,
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother Chris texted me one night and was like, "Hey, why don't you move out here to Pittsburgh and live with me and Tracy, his now wife, and you can go to the community college here until you figure out what you want to do." And I was like, fuck, I get a chance to go live with my brother for, you know, right off the bat, graduating high school. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I moved to Pittsburgh for like 6 months.
Okay.
And did terrible in school. And because we were up playing Madden until 3:00 in the morning every night, you know. And then I think it was December of that year, they called a family meeting because his wife's brother was living with us too. And we get down in the living room and she told us that they told us that she was pregnant. And I was like, all right, well, moving back to Ohio, I guess. Like that's so I lasted 6 months. And now that pregnancy is a 17-year-old high school senior. So it's
okay.
fucking weird. It is.
So you move back to Ohio. Do you go to college then? Where do you go? Go back to Cuyahoga Falls?
I did. I went to Akron U for 2 semesters. I went to Kent Stark for a semester.
I went to 1 semester. I actually took a summer class up at Kent Stark. I took, God, what was that class? When was that? 03, 04, 05, somewhere here?
Yeah.
03, might have been 03.
I got 1A in college. And I got 2. I got English Comp 1. I got an A. And golf. That was my
Dude, I took golf too. I swear to God, I took golf. We had so many electives we had to take, and one of them, I was like, fuck, golf.
Dude, that improved my golf game so much, taking that golf class.
It did. It was weird because I took it in the spring. It was my first, 2002. It was the only semester I lived in the dorms. I can tell you a story about living in our dorms here in a second because I really fucked up that. But 2002, so we went golfing, but it was raining all the time, so we couldn't go out to the golf course. So like the first 3 months of the semester, we were just hitting the ball in the gym into the net and stuff. And then we get out in the golf course and we're just like, hey, there's a giant hook I didn't see hitting the ball into the net. So yeah, but living in the dorms at Kent, bro, I was older. I was 25 because I didn't go down there when I graduated high school in 95, and then I went to like this. It was called Westside Institute of Technology. It was like a fucking heating refrigeration school, and I got a certificate from that. Yeah. I went and got a job at this skating rink, and this is before I was wearing glasses and I couldn't see the thing. They fired me. So I went. So then I was like 23. I went back to Tri-C. Did like 3-4 semesters, 5 semesters at Tri-C. Then spring 2002 was my first semester at Kent. That's when I took the golf. But I lived on campus, and dude, I'm a man of excess. Back then I was a drinker. Yeah. And I was a drinker. When I say I was a drinker, I go get a case a day. I'm fuck around. Yeah. And I would, I just go walk around trying to meet people thinking, oh, this is going to be just like fucking Animal House and shit. There's a couple people here or there maybe, but man, at the end of the day, it just feels like you're imposing. And I don't have the patience to wait for the special parties like Thursday and this. Now I want to drink every single day. So, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I was a lot of times just drinking Natty Light by myself, watching TV or whatever. But after that, I actually got 2 disorderly conducts when I was on campus. The one time I was, I don't remember much of it, but I had just gotten a pocket knife. and I was coming from the, you know, where the main thing is where the bowling alley is. I can't remember what the fuck it's called now. I think it'd be the quad or something like that. But I was coming from that, and they said I was waving my pocket knife around up in there. I don't remember any of that, but they arrested me for that. And then there was another one. God, what was the second incident? You can look it up. If you type in Joel Varell, Daily Kent Stater, it'll come up. There's but so I ended up having a disciplinary hearing. They actually suspended me for a year. So I had to go back to Tri-C for a year, and I came back. And I actually got 2 more disorderly conducts when I was living in the apartments. There's a place called the University Inn right there on
Yeah.
And the problem was that where I lived and where the bars were, you always had to walk past the police station. So it's like, geez, bro, that didn't work out. So I was there for probably 2 years and a total of 4 disorderly conducts.
Damn. Yeah, I've never been arrested. I've had so many times where I should have been, but I've talked my way out of it every time. Like I think it's the Catholic Sicilian guilt. I think it's just like first thing that pops into my head is don't disappoint the parents, and I fucking talk my way out. I sober up instantly. It's crazy. Very good at it.
So does you being a good talker, did that lead you into comedy? And what was your first thing in with stand? Like, what was your first mic? How'd you get into comedy?
With me, I always wanted to do stand up. I just didn't know that you could. You know what I mean? Like it was like I've always been a huge fan of stand up. Like Mitch Hedberg is my favorite comedian. I used to watch his special constantly. I can quote every single one of his jokes. But my buddy Brian Gallagher, he started doing comedy. We weren't really that good of friends at the time. We had met at a wedding once, and I was at a bar and got invited over to his house to play beer pong and shit. And we were over there, and he was telling me he started doing comedy at the Funny Stop, and him and his wife were like, "You should really do it, and like you always wanted to do it. You're funny, you can just go do it." And my first time was July 3rd, 2019. It was money contest. So it was because it was July 3rd, they didn't have nobody had work the next day. So Pete had 2 contests that night. Nice. He had the amateur contest early and then a money contest. So I didn't know that. And the lady was like, the amateur contest is full, but I can put you on the money contest if you want. And I was like, all right. So I'm sitting there waiting. It's sold out crowd. And I'm sitting there waiting to go up, and I'm supposed to go up third. And they don't announce me. I think Marv Connor was hosting. And he was like, next up to the stage, this guy's great. He's been doing comedy for 6 years all throughout Cleveland. He's like, everybody give it up for Steve Mers. And Steve Mers goes up and just murders. He won the contest. Okay. Just murders. And then they called me up right after him for my first time doing stand-up. And I just walked up and grabbed the mic, and I was like, well, don't expect that. And that got a big laugh. And I was hooked, like, instantly, dude. It was as soon as I got that first big laugh, like, I stepped off stage, and Brian was like, what'd you think? And I was like, I think I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is awesome. And I went full throttle with it. I've done, I think the last time I checked my recordings in like 3.5 years, I've done like 800 sets. Something like that. Yeah. Jesus, man. Yeah, I've done
you actually started comedy after me. My first mic was in 17, I think. June, July, somewhere in there. Because I remember the July 3rd mic, the July 3rd sticks in my head too, because it was up at the, you know where the burrito place is over there. What's that? What's the name? Not maybe a taco place. It's in Lakewood. They used to do
Taco Tantos.
No, there's another one. They don't do it there no more.
Barrio,
yeah, it was it. The second one was at Barrio. Barrio got some bright fucking lights, dude. But like,
yeah,
if you go up there and do comedy, if you don't hit your first night, it's like you're probably not gonna do it. You hear people like, "Oh, I tried it once, I didn't get a couple laughs, so I stopped." That first initial mic is so key. If you hit that first mic, even just a couple laughs, you're like, okay, you got some justification, some validation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny because I thought I was doing pretty well like my first 6 months, and now like I'll go back and watch the tape. And I'm like, what the fuck was I doing up there? You know, like you get to the point where you're so comfortable on stage where you, when you do that many sets, you get so comfortable on stage where you're more comfortable on stage than you are off, you know? And it's like, and it gets to that point, and then you go back and look at yourself before you were that comfortable, and you're like, I sucked. Like, what was I doing? It's comedy for me has just like changed my life 100%. Like, I don't know. I had really nothing that was like a big interest of mine until that, like other than sports.
And we got from Nick, it says, unless you got universal humor that everyone gets, comedy sucks for comedians. The UK comedians are far more on point than the ruthless American comics. So what's do you follow any UK comedians? Do you have any
I've a couple. I mean, I know Jimmy Carr, obviously. He's great at crowd work. He's brutal. Who are some of the other ones? Who's the guy that he released like 4 specials in 1 year?
Was it Gervais?
No, Gervais is good though. Gervais is good. No, there's like a blonde hair British guy that I watch sometimes. But no, I don't watch that much UK comedy. I'm not gonna
I'm not gonna lie either. I don't really watch much stand up for being a comedian. I mean, half of that's because I'm on YouTube all the time. But like, I mean, when you're doing these mics, the Cleveland comedy scene is only so big, man. And I've seen guys like, Bill Squire, Mary, and people like that, Mary Santora, and they're nice comedians, are funny, but I've seen their sets fucking 10 times, and I've only done fucking.
Yeah, I don't really watch people's sets at comedy shows anymore, but I do watch a lot of stand-up specials, mainly because I don't want to emulate one person, so I kind of just try to watch everybody, and I'm also pretty obsessed with not stealing jokes, so I want to make sure that I'm not doing a similar concept as somebody else. I mean, I know there's people that I don't watch, obviously, because they're not big enough for me to know about or whatever. But like, as many people as I can, I want to make sure I'm not.
Oh, for sure. Frankie Boyle and Chubby Brown are must see. Okay, Frankie Boyle. That was the one I was thinking of. I couldn't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when it comes to like stealing jokes, I mean, back in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have, there was no internet and no comedians on the internet. So like, people didn't put their sets up. I mean, there's only so many things to talk about in the world. I mean, there's, how many times you heard jokes about titties? How many times you heard jokes about weed, porn, come on, shit? I mean, so
most of my jokes are stories about that are actually about my life. So like, when I have a joke where I just think of a concept in my head, and I'm like, all right, is there any way somebody's thought of this concept before? Is there any, it's stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that I really like look up and try to make sure that nobody's doing it. Like that stuff's hard. But yeah, when you're doing stories about your life, like if you go to open mic and see somebody else doing your joke, and it's a story about your life, you're like, dude, what? Like it's not you. Like you're doing a joke about my mom. That's not cool. That's
like, wait a minute, that mom sounds familiar.
Yeah. But I do think English comics are more brutal from what I've seen. I think I don't think it's that they can get away with more. I think it's that they don't care as much. Like, like they don't really care what people think as much. Like it's because I really don't think there's as big of a problem with like the PC culture shit as everybody thinks there is. You can pretty much say anything you want on stage as long as it's well written.
Right.
I think.
Well, a lot. This is the great transition into the quote unquote woke comedy. Now, what's your take on, starting out with like people who just can't deal with the F word, like, oh, I couldn't say fuck on my show or whatever. Like, why does this exist? Who are these people in 2020? The fuck two who are afraid of the F word or shit or cunt or bastard or twat, well, whatever. I mean, there's words we're not gonna say. We're not gonna say the M word. We're not gonna say the R word. We're not gonna say the F word, the double G's. Those are the 3 big ones. I'm not gonna say those. But the other words, who gives a fuck? They're not that bad. Like, what is your take on that? Why are people so fucking like? Who are these people who are offended, bro?
I think it's like I know like my mom isn't offended by it, but if somebody says fuck every other word, she instantly doesn't like them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, to me, it should be used sparingly, but like I think it's just up to the club owner, or if you're doing a private show, whoever's booking you, to let you know what they don't want said. Like that's before you even accept the deal. Like that's what you should do is understand like that there's a difference. Every single comedy club owner, every single private booker thinks of clean differently. So when they say clean, I always ask what they mean by clean, because it's like, I can not cuss, like I can be clean.
Oh, for sure.
But I can't be family friendly. Like that's not like, I would have no material if it was like, if they were like family friendly.
Well, it's like they're the audience, the people who go to a place such as a comedy club, such as a bar, such as a back hole, whatever. These are places of debauchery. These are places of getting fucked up. These are places where you tell stories, where you hook up, where you do shit like that.
Yeah.
And to be like, oh, I gotta have clean comedy. Why? If you're serving alcohol at a fucking event and you demand clean comedy, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't get the clean clubs. Like I don't get that. I do get like whenever they have a clean headliner that they expect the feature and the host to be clean because people are going there expecting to see a clean comic. But like as far as like there are some clubs that they only hire clean comics, and I don't really get that. Like it's
a bar, yeah,
and I think you're like sending away a lot of money because you can still book clean comics, but you don't have to book only clean comics. Like it's
right,
yeah. Yeah, there are some. There's none in Ohio like that, but I've seen some elsewhere. But yeah, man, it's the woke shit. It just has to be a good, well written joke. I think that's it. Like it's whenever you do a joke that is seemingly the only reason you're doing the joke is to offend somebody. It's probably not. You're not doing it for the right reason.
That's
like
more hateful stuff. This is why this is another good question. These roast battles and shit like that.
Oh, dude, the roast battles are like no limits. Like,
and the way people
like it's brutal. Dude.
Well, and the way some comics. I mean, it's no secret that a lot of people in comedy going to comedy got serious mental health issues. Just the way comedy is.
Yeah.
I mean, people who have things going for themselves good in life, they don't have the observations to make funny shit about mental health in life. So it's no secret that a lot of comics have mental health issues. But, when some of these guys go up there and they just berate themselves, they're like, I know what you're thinking. A pile of puke fucked the plasma generator, and then a squirrel died, and then there's me.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just like.
The over self-deprecation is funny to me because it's like it never works. Like
it's bad for up here, dude. So many people do it. I mean, it's funny if you're like, hey, I know what you're thinking. I look like Bull Shannon. Okay, I know that. Cool. We've done that as a costume before.
Yeah.
But when you get up there and you're berating yourself to the point where it's just not good for you and your health, you're getting laughs for the wrong reasons. You want to make observational shit about stuff that make people laugh. Not like, oh, geez, haha, yeah, that guy shit himself. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like it is good to have a little self-deprecation in a thing, but to overdo it never works. Like I have one joke where I tell people, I have a weight loss joke, so I tell people how much weight I've lost. And like the people and like mostly people clap, and I'm always like, oh yeah, the people that didn't clap or looked at me and were like, you need to lose 50 more pounds immediately, and it crushes and it's self-deprecating, but it's like it's true. Like I need to lose 50 more pounds, so that's just me projecting my goals into my stand-up.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That I agree with. You gotta have some of that. But like, all right, I need to get more on my comedy. I'm drunk. I forget every joke, so bear with me here. Let me read off of this paper. Okay, that I get for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, some people, some people they I don't know. I see these guys get up there and they'll dress in a certain way just for laughs, and it's like I don't think that's good for their stuff. I mean, comics are a sloppy bunch. Like they are some sloppy fucking dressers, dude.
Yeah, there's certain there's certain with the dress shit. You gotta understand that like we're a new generation. Like it's like because the older comics that are around from Cleveland and stuff, like they've all said to me like that you need to dress better on stage or whatever. And it's like they don't understand that's our generation dresses. We look at it like you should be who you are on stage, off stage. Like you should be who you are off stage, on stage. So like I dress like this all the time. So like I'm gonna dress like this on stage. But yeah, like their generation was suit and tie. Like that's and the only one that really does it now is John Mulaney. Like that's about it.
I don't. It's just. I mean. I get the dressing how you feel thing. I mean, we're all just wearing chill, but like even just like this is cool. I see people up there like pajama pants.
Oh yeah,
Mario Brothers shirt that's like really tight.
Anything that's like anything that distracts from the crowd means you're not that good of a comedian. Like that's why I don't like ventriloquists. But it's just like I look at that like ventriloquists. Like I'll say like. like when people ask me why I don't like them, I'll just say like, listen to the jokes they're telling. Would it be that funny if it wasn't coming from the puppet's mouth? Like, you know, like that's like, I just don't, any like prop comedy or anything like that. I'm just a joke writer. Like, I just want to hear jokes.
Prop comedy. I haven't seen nobody. I haven't seen all the mics I've been to, I haven't seen a prop comedy. Probably because it's too much work.
There's like one in Cleveland.
That's a lot of work, prop comedy. I mean, it's not, well, yeah. And also too, it's half the time it's just not funny. Cause like, I mean, Carrot Top was funny because he had an infinite prop budget, I imagine. Like he didn't, like that one joke, well, here's a car, and then the car goes up like this. That shit's funny or whatever. But like, you know, like guys like us with the, you know, no budgets.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, some of these comics are broke. Like, how do you get that broke? Like,
yeah. I'm fortunate to have a decent job outside of comedy, but yeah, like all I care about on stage is that I have a nice, decent looking pair of shoes on and my hat and jeans. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like that's.
I look at like the dress, like you got to dress like you're going to pick up, going on at least a date. I mean, on a date, you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna get dressed up in a suit and tie on a first date, but you might wear a button down or a nice hat or, you know, shoes that match or something. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the grossness. Yeah. Maybe it's just these young kids just don't care, like you said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
people going over elaborate with stuff though, like that's it's like I know what you're talking about. Like there's a dude this past week at Funny Stop that I looked on. I didn't even know the name of his act. I was at the amateur contest just hanging out, and I just like looked out on stage, and this dude's wearing Akron Rubber Duck's head on top of his head, and I'm like, that is why are you doing that right now, dude? But yeah, like Daniel Meyer, I'll shout him out real quick. He does some elaborate stuff that's actually really funny. Mostly at the roast battles. When he roasted me, we had like a fake feud online. I don't know if you saw that, but he put out like a cease and desist letter and shit on Instagram.
Nice.
For us to like delete his episode of the podcast or whatever. And when we roasted each other, I'm hanging out outside, and my buddy Brian Gallagher walks up in a suit and tie, and I'm like, what were you coming from a wedding or something? And he's like, oh no, Mr. Brown, I'm Daniel's lawyer. We probably shouldn't talk. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And we go up, and they're like, who wants to go first? And I'm like, Daniel, you can do your shit first, you know? And so he has Brian come up as his lawyer and serve me papers. And like read out this like long ass like court summons, and it took like literally like 5 minutes, and Brian hands me this paper, and I just like ripped it in half twice, and then put it in Daniel's pocket and patted his pocket shut, and then stepped back, and I was like, so was that like your first joke? Or and then garage, like I love the roast battles because it's like. I never was that big of a wrestling fan, but it is like your moment to like be like, like,
like win.
It is very wrestling like. I don't know.
Well, I mean, along that lines of the roast battles, you know, get money for that. I mean, what do you think of the concept that the whole competition? I mean, people will throw up just a competition, and basically it's, you know, if you break it down, there's 15 people in the competition. They're all working for 5 minutes. You know, and $100 an hour. It's like 17 cents an hour or some shit. And people get paid. I mean, these wages are depressing. I mean. People will say stand-up comedy is easy, which on its surface it is. You're just grabbing a microphone and talking to people. It's not hard. That part hard. The hard part is get people to laugh, entertain. And we'll find out who's funny, who's not, is a kind of a hit miss thing. And I get it on the club owner side. But what do you think about these depressing ass wages like this?
I mean, as far as roast battles, like the ad hom roast battles, I think they're pretty fair with their pay. And they're the best roast battles. So like if you're doing them somewhere else, just don't do them. And but like it is the pay really hasn't changed that much in the past like 20 years with comedy. Like it is. But yeah, I'm always happy when I get paid. And one thing I'll tell comics is that always ask questions before you accept a gig. Like that's the thing is like you always ask how much you're getting paid, how much time you're doing, like if you have to be clean or if you can be dirty. Like always ask those questions because when I was a little younger in my comedy years, I fucking took some gigs where I just assumed I was getting paid and it just didn't happen, you know, like And it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to work for this person anymore, but this still sucks. Like so you learn your lessons, and that's the lessons are in anything in entertainment, I think, is make sure you always know what you're going to pay.
You got to, man, because well, it's a weird disconnect because like there's like 95% of people on this bottom slave wage tier, and then the 5% of people who can make it work, or the superstars, the Chappelles of the world. And all that. And in the upper lower class of the lower upper class, like the Bills and the Marys and all that, the guys who make it for a living, that there's only so much events to go around in a place like Ohio.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's like traveling it's so expensive to drive. It's like gas is $3.50 a gallon. So if we got a show in Buffalo, that's $40 there, $40 back. I'm in $80 just before I even get there. And at my level, shows are paying me $100 or more. Do they even exist? I don't even know. Probably not.
We're trying to get some shit started. Me and Brandon Petrie and Jimmy Kilius, like we're gonna try to get some shit started on the outskirts. So like, I don't know if anybody knows any bars or anything that'd be good for comedy within like half an hour of Cleveland, half an hour of Akron. Like, let me know because we're looking for venues. That's where like you can make some money at in comedy is like the smaller towns that don't get like they have to drive an hour to go to Cleveland to get comedy or whatever. Like my buddy Josh Sprague runs a show out in Madison.
Love Josh. Josh, nice guy. He's been on the show before.
Yeah, and that show in Madison, like he runs it every other month, and it sells out every time because they don't have comedy there. So he's able to pay the comics really well, and it's a great show to be on. But yeah, that's where it's at. I think is going out to the places that don't get it.
I think that's where a lot of comics don't really get it. My one issue about comics is they don't value their own time. A lot of comics don't have any business acumen whatsoever. Yeah. There's nothing that says you can't walk in these places like, hey, man, I got 5 people. I'll do a show for you tonight. Give me a portion of the drinks and pay the people. Boom. You got to be creative. Yeah. People want everybody to do the work for them. They want to go up to a mic and, I'm funnier than everybody else. And you pay me buckets of money. The world doesn't work like that. Yeah. It does not. Can you make it like that? I don't know. Maybe. If you want to do 15 mics a fucking week and talk to a bunch of people and sell your soul and, sleep on, back of Fiats in New York City and shit like that. I don't know. That's up to you. Yeah. But there's a smart way to do this. The smart way is to think outside the box. This isn't the 80s anymore. This isn't the 90s anymore. The way the old style comedy shows are going. We're in a new pandemic era. We are. Yeah. It's I got a huge presence on YouTube, at least for a comic. And like I think a lot more comics need to branch out into at least have the online. Some are doing it. Some put half-ass into it. Some put a lot of effort to it. It just all depends. Yeah, we're gonna relaunch. We did a podcast. Me and Tim Wolf and Bob McClure were doing a podcast called Running Down the Bit. Okay. And it's basically just us each running a new joke every week. It was like a half-hour podcast, and then we just riff off of each other's jokes. And it was going well, but Anchor, I'll just talk some shit on Anchor real quick. They changed up their shit. So when I did Brown Petri Dish, like it was very easy. I just went on there and they submitted to every podcasting platform and shit. And now you have to do each one individually. And there's like 4 of them that like won't let me register. So it's like, it's just, they made it so much harder. So we had a stopgap because Bob had some family shit going on. And so we're going to relaunch on YouTube because I'm like, I think we'll get more views on YouTube. YouTube is where it's at. I tried. Well, when I first launched the show, it was a Square Table of Generous podcast, and I just coincidentally launched on YouTube just because I like YouTube. And I tried Podbean and I tried doing it, and the whole world of podcasting is very microscopic. Like there's only 10, 20% of people maybe listen to podcasts, not that. And even then you have to follow a very specific format to get like star ratings and this and that. So I'm just kind of done with the podcast part. That's why it's all on YouTube. It's more of a, as you can see right there, I don't even call it the podcast anymore. It's just called Square Table of Generous because YouTube, you get to see people connect. Like everybody in the chat here, Ashar, Junkyard, all these guys. I've seen all these guys on streams. I talk with them all the time. It's a phenomenal community. Granted, a lot of the same people. Sure, we're getting more exposure here, more exposure there. And my theory is that, this is why I'm going to the UK. We get some more things. I want to do a couple mics in the UK. I haven't done a mic since before the pandemic. Last mic we did was that one up at the VFW. It was a great fucking show. It was me, Sprague, the other Josh Guerreri. Mayo. Was Mayo up there? I don't know if he was or not. Don Shear fucking got drunk and bombed. He knows that.
I haven't seen that dude since before the pandemic.
He used to come over. He used to come over every Friday. It was me, Tom, Pat, and Don used to come over every Friday. And then We used to do it virtually. Even the first couple of months of the pandemic, we were all doing it virtually, and then after that, people just slowly started dropping off. I think it was the M&M D12 effect. Like, it's so me oriented. Like, ask anybody in the chat who the other 3 guys in the show are. They're probably like, I don't know. I hadn't seen half of them in fucking over a year and a half. So
I'm sure you've talked about it before, but where did you get the name Square Table Degenerate?
I was driving down 90, because I was thinking of just something that would hit and be offensive, but not offensive on the surface. But when you look at it, offensive. And I was just driving like square because this table folds up. It was originally square, like STDs. Perfect. Just hit me. We're driving down the road on 90, man. It was fucking gold.
Funny.
It was gold.
Yeah. Because I was gonna comment that this is a rectangular table. Not
my joke is once we got big and expanded, we had to take it out. All right, Shar Avery's putting in a splash. She says, "Can you tell a joke?" So tell us like one of your go-tos. You got go-to?
I'll tell you one that I don't normally do that I did last night. It's the so have you ever seen those Shriners Children's Hospital commercials?
Oh yeah.
Like, am I the only one that watches those commercials and thinks like, how much do I have to donate so you stop putting these gross kids on TV while I'm eating my dinner? It's my favorite joke to tell. I never do it. I never do it.
My favorite joke is I get real quiet. I'm like, all right, guys, I got some real personal information to tell you. This is close to my heart. I beat cancer. And people are like, oh yeah, they start cheering like, oh wait, it's not really a good thing. My child's name is cancer. I only got to tell like twice, bro. And that's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I got another joke about the any fans of the Dukes of Hazzards here? And people go, woo woo woo. Like, yeah, I got me. I am too. I went out and got one of those cars, but I'm really racist. I don't want any Confederate flag bullshit out there, so I went out and had a Nazi flag put on the top of it. That's a funny fucking joke. That's a fucking great joke. You gotta. That's one of those ones where you gotta read the room, and that's where I think comedy. A lot of comics are like, we have to acknowledge there's 2 different styles of America now. There's the people, and if you see the room and you're in a known blue town, you gotta adjust your jokes a little bit. You might want to take out the jokes about the transvestites and stuff. I mean, it's just the nature of reading the room and being flexible. I think a lot of comedians, especially ones that complain hard, oh, I'm getting canceled here, I'm getting canceled there. You just got to read the room and you know who you're talking to. If you're talking to a bunch of fucking old country motherfuckers, drop in the jokes that you wouldn't say in fucking Lakewood and shit like that. It's just a lot of not reading the room properly. I mean, I have a Trump joke. It's just a really good joke, but when I do it at like a more conservative place, like I have a save for it. And it works. Like, like you have to figure that stuff out. Like if I'm in a more liberal room, I don't use the save, like you don't, it's just stuff that you do have to read the room for sure. I read the room to see, like, watch the other comics ahead of you too. If there are comics ahead of you, see like, are they people that can hang on for a minute, or do you need to hit them with quicker jokes? Like that's something like some audiences aren't going to pay attention enough to listen to a story. It's, especially if they're drunk. If people are drunk, they want to hear shit about titties and parties and fun times. They don't want to hear I was at the Payless Shoe Stores the other day, guys, and I was buying shoes. They don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? So that's where that reading the room is so key. And I'm on YouTube. It's nothing. I mean, I'm talking to a camera. I haven't been out there and mic. I'm interested to see how, like, when I get back out there, how my shit for England's squared away. Like, I know if I get a mic in England, I know exactly what I'm going to do because it's easy. Cultural differences, boom, boom, boom. I just play the non-dumb American. I got them. But like over here, reading the room. But what do these people want to hear? What do they want to talk about? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's gonna be a fun time out there. I think that's the next logical step for me because, like, at this level, getting guests, I get my comic friends. I get anybody who's gonna say yes. Anybody's been on the show at this level is basically just doing a favor. They like to talk about themselves. You guys saw JJ Friendship Friday. If you watch the show, he's a talker. I try to get people like Dave. You can just say, hey, how you doing? Then there's 15 minutes. I ain't got to say it. Just here, go, oh, that's cool. Yeah, you're right. Right. So it's like the whole next logical step to really blow it up is to obviously get back out there and do the mics and get known for that. Yeah. And that's the England trip, man. That's the risk. I mean, it's a risk. I mean, I'm meeting people over there, so it's a bottom worst thing. It's a fun vacation, but man, we can fucking pound this shit. I like, my thing is to Shar says she got a compliment for her. She says, well, nice to hear your joke, John Brown. You're a cool comedian. Have to run by. So Shar over in the UK. Elle says you're gonna have to jump up. You're going to have to up your joke game for the UK. Oh, I'm ready. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. I got some jokes for you fucking British people. You don't worry about that. We're going to fucking have some fun. I mean, I got a probably 30-second joke about the C word, how we can't say it over here. You guys just get to drop it, bro. So hell yeah. But,
yeah, it means something else there, right?
Exactly. Well, the ultimate goal too is, John, I would like to get like, several comics a year to just go over there, North American Invasion. I know Dino said he would go over there, get people passports, get them to travel. And I mean, obviously nobody's going to have the fucking money to just go over there and, pay the plane tickets themselves. Right. But, people, you get sponsors, they like you, boom, 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 boom. You build establish relationships and you go from there. Once you show people you can make money, man, they're willing to work for you. They're willing to do things for you. And that's where that back end shit is that's why I built this channel the way I did. Because I wanted to build it to where, anybody could come on. We could talk about whatever, mostly comedy stuff. But, as you guys know, I have athletes and we have fucking rock stars. We have movie stars. I challenge anybody at this level, 1,070 subs, to find a fucking guest resume of mine. It just does not exist. Yeah. It does not exist. Tommy fucking Chong, Ricky fucking Williams, Brutus Beefcake, go down the fucking line. Yes, I paid for some of them. You got to do what you got to do with this. I got to do what you got to do to make in this fucking
Yeah, I've seen some of yours and I've been like, how the fuck?
Some of me be surprised. Dude, I'm not going to lie, dude. I was ready to pay Tommy Chong. I was straight with a paid him motherfucker, but his agent said, oh, yeah, when you want to be on? I was like, fucking A, click. I don't think I've ever typed a fucking letter up fast, man. Shit. That was still hardcore. I had 80 people watching, bro. 80. That was fucking insane, dude. Yeah. 80 people watching, and I'm sitting here like, click. Anything over 100, I'd probably, in the chat live, I'd probably need a producer at that point. Oh, yeah. Because it would be ridiculous. Well, I mean, like even stuff like this, you get like so much money on the, the commercial money's nothing. It's where the super chats are and stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm doing gummies for super chats. I forgot to mention that earlier. So if you guys want to throw down some money, I'll definitely get as high as you want me to. Fucking A, because that's how I roll. But yeah, I think, man, I'm excited for the next couple years, man. I like seeing you guys because Mayo has been on the show many times. Mayo, and he's out there killing it. You and Mayo are kind of at the same level almost, right on that precipice. You know what I mean? So
yeah, just starting to get booked.
Right. Getting the name out there, and that's why I think that digital divide. Us, guys like me who are primarily on YouTube, and then you guys out there doing the grunt work. If everybody quits being a bunch of haters and just works together, man, there's so much cross promotion potential, dude. I love it. I really do. There's what you take on. People just think they're better. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know the types. Yeah, they just think they're better than everybody else all the time, and they're just this and that. Why are there so many fucking? You're like, oh, I'm holding my jokes tight to the vest, and
I don't know. Like, I don't feel like we have many of those in Cleveland. Like, I feel like most people in the Cleveland comedy scene are pretty cool.
They usually are pretty good up here.
But yeah, I haven't really run into that too much. I mean, I know it's like there's some scenes you'll go to and they'll be like that a little bit, but it's mostly I've had good experiences mostly with comedians. But I think there is a thing though where like if in a lot of scenes where like if they don't see somebody a lot and they don't like know they're serious about comedy, like that they don't really give them the same time of day as they give other people, you know? Yeah, I think that's well, and you develop friendships too, I mean, it is comedy is cliquey because you get your friends and it's just, that's who you want to do shows with and shit, I mean, that's how it is. But yeah, Mayo is a little bit above me. He's like, I think we're following kind of the same path though, where like, I want to be in as many clubs as he's in right now at this time next year. And he's about a year ahead of me. So in time doing comedy. So I feel like I'm at a good place with that. Cause he is one of the guys that helped me out a lot whenever I first started.
Me and him started right away. His first mic was out the B-side. It was me, him, Don Shear booked it. Fat Don. I love Don, so I call him Fat Don. That's my dude. But yeah, Don booked that. And it was, that was a rough go for me. Cause I had all these jokes that I thought people were going to be there for, and Don threw me up first, and there was like 4 people there. It was a waste.
That's the worst.
It was honestly a waste of my time at that point. And then my dad, Gary Soul, his pictures up there on the wall. He was there at that mic, and I don't know, man. Somehow some of the black dudes got into it with them, and it was a hot fucking mess, dude. That was a little too ghetto of a show for my dad to be at, if I'm being real. So
that was in a fight.
It was. I don't know what exactly happened, dude, but. Dude, my dad shows up in this shirt I had and I sort of got, it was a shirt with Wile E. Coyote on it. I don't know how he still had this shirt. I had this shirt when I was 12 back in 1989. The shirt said frequently frustrated, and it was aqua shirt with the picture of Wile E. Coyote on it. My dad used to wear these fucking sweatpants. He just cut off the legs. So he walked in there looking sloppy as fuck. Didn't give a shit. One fuck about life at that point. My mom had already died. He was dating this new girl, and he brings this new girl up at the thing. I don't know if it was Desmond or one of the guys walks up to him. He walks up to my dad's thing and goes, see, like, look at you. I don't know if you're going to go suck some dick after the show or something. And she's just sitting there like, oh, okay. So it's just like somebody like your mom. We go to like a church or something every week.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was a rough fucking thing. but it was funny though, because like things were born on that night in that period, man. That was that September 18, dude. That was a very crazy transition period for me because that's when I first met guys like Don and Mayo and Desmond and all them.
Yeah.
And then I got sober at the end of that month because if you remember the Browns and Raiders played. 45-42 we lost. That was the last weekend I drank. And that was a wild weekend, bro. I don't want to get into it publicly, but there was some serious crazy shit I did that weekend. But so that was a crazy transition for me. It's funny, I just, through the group. And that's the one thing I like. I wish that Cleveland comedy group would be more active. I really do. Like, I can post something, hey, who do you think this and that? What do you think about this? And
there's only a select group of people that actually respond.
Nobody talks in that group. That's why I really want to post shit in the group. It's a waste of time. I mean, I can post, hey, check out the show, and maybe one or two people check out. And half the people already know me. Wasting my fucking time. So it's at the end of the day, you got to be humble to the point because nobody really gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Like we do a show like this. So who are these guys? And the people are here because they like the personality. At this level, you got to be a person. You got to act like a rock star. Act like you've been there before. And I mean, I don't sit there and go, please. How many times have you heard me say, please subscribe, please? I don't give a fuck. If you like me, you're gonna like the fucking stream. I don't have to tell you today. If you like me, you're gonna subscribe to the goddamn show. I don't have to fucking tell you that. I mean, it's a waste of my time doing it. And that's where the whole digital begging thing. I know this is going against YouTube etiquette. A lot of people don't like that shit, but I just not gonna clog up the stream with that fucking foolishness. We're gonna have some fun and rock it. And if it takes a little bit longer, that's fine. But I want the back end shit to be more stronger. I want the community to be bigger. I want everybody to grow properly together as opposed to following some fucking corporate ethos that nobody gives a fuck about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm personally tired of trying to figure out how to change my brake pads or something and having to watch some dude tell me to subscribe to his channel for fucking 2 minutes straight. I'm like, I'm not subscribing. I'm never going to need to know anything else from you, dude. You're telling me how to change my brake pads. Like, that's it.
That's where YouTubers got to read the room too. Yeah. If you're out there and you have an instructional channel, you have to accept the fact that you're going to get a lot of views on the front end because people are going to look, hey, how to change brake pads. Oh, here's a cool video on how to change brake pads. But that's the only time. Like, I'm not going to be in a brake changing pads community. I'm not going to sit there in group chats and how people talk about changing brake pads. I don't give a fuck about brake pads because get that one time. Comedy, though, that's different. Comedy will affect your soul. Comedy's every day. Every day you're going to laugh about shit. So that's where guys like me and John come in. Everybody like guys and you in the chat are funny too, but we're going to fucking blow that shit up. Best believe that shit because I got a fucking motor like you wouldn't think, man. I got to run. I want to run for office too. I want to do all kinds of crazy. That's a good question, man. What do you think about running for office? Would you ever do that?
I would never. No. It's not. It's just. I don't think I have that much time in my life to like dedicate. It's dedicating your life to that. That's like all of your other interests and everything are out the window when you do that. Like. I don't know. I've known a couple of people that have, and it just takes up their entire life.
Well, what do you think about the thing intertwining the two, like running for office and still doing comedy at the same time, but like bringing all of it into it? Like you could just complain about shit. That could be the jokes. And
you could, yeah. You could be like a mayor or something.
There's, you know who Travis Irvine is?
Yes, yeah. I met him. I just did the Brewdog Comedy Festival out in Canal Winchester. Okay, and he was there. Yeah.
Wow, Canal Winchester. There's a lot of fucking money in that town,
dude. That place was insane. I thought that like it was going to be this small brewery, and I pull up and it's like a brewery complex, and I'm like, what the hell is this? They had like 3 bars, a huge restaurant, a sound stage. They have like a dog park for dogs. They have a hotel where I guess like you can have whatever beer you want on tap in your hotel room. Like it was insane, dude. This place is crazy. It must be like their corporate headquarters or something because it was crazy.
That whole area, man. Canal Fulton, Canal Winchester, anything of Canton suburbs is fucking baller, bro. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. So what shows you got coming up? What president? I mean, you still doing the brown petri dish? Is that on?
Yeah, we do the brown petri dish every week. It's not on YouTube, but it's anywhere else you get podcasts.
Okay. If somebody in the chat, I know a lot of you guys are mods. Most of you should be. Can somebody look up the brown petri dish podcast and link it for me before we wrap this up? So my boy John here can get a couple downloads if you guys are, so inclined, because he's a funny fuck, bro. Okay, we need to support it. You remind me too. I don't do this with the podcast. You got to get on YouTube, man. You got to.
Yeah.
You got to launch. And
it's just to do an hour podcast on YouTube. Like, I know you do it, but you do it live. Like, maybe that's something we could think about.
Live is the best. Live is the best. That pre-recorded stuff. And because I've been down this, and like when I first started, like I was really dedicated at 9:30. I was like, I'm gonna be consistent. 9:30 Friday night, boom, boom, boom. And I found out like people really like the live interaction. They love that shit because it's like being at the show. Because like people can ask questions in the chat. You got somebody there. Like some people get to talk to guys like Tommy Chung. They never get that access. Unless they're at some kind of meet and greet. So it's perfect. I love that shit.
Yeah, my thing is it's the format that we have. Like I got to figure out a way to do it with like we play a lot of news clips and we end on a comedy clip and shit. Like so, I got to figure out that end of it. And then we'll probably go to YouTube too. Yeah, it's something we've been wanting to do for a while. I just don't have the time to do video editing along with all of my clip editing and all that.
One of my things is fucking life is too short to edit videos, and it's so true. Yeah. But like with the live, you can even run clips with the StreamYard. See, like right here, like if I want to run a clip of, I'll show you I had a clip of Marty here. Let me find it. It's on the other one. Hold on.
Oh, you can do that in StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard's a great tool. So check this out. This is a clip of Marty telling a joke. Now, this is our friend Martin Malloy. He's a local comic. I'm just showing this clip real quick to show John how this works. This is pretty cool.
I went to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and I won a 50-50 raffle. Now I have to go to Gamblers Anonymous. I had a brain injury, which might have caused my schizophrenia, and here's my joke about it. I went to law school for a year. I got accepted to law school through a special program that considers adversity you face in your academic career in the admission process. Adversity I faced is I'm schizophrenic, and I got hit by a hit-and-run driver and had a brain injury. I was very well qualified with a 3.82 grade point average, but I didn't get in the first time I applied. I guess an autistic guy with a lobotomy and a 4.0 must have beat me out.
He is really,
dude. He's so funny.
So funny.
I gotta get him over here to be on this show. He said he would do the show. Actually, I gotta get him over.
He's a good interview, man.
Oh, I like Marty because, like, dude, it's you just talk to Marty. Marty's just so authentic and so pure. Like everything he says, he thinks right there. It's perfect.
Yeah, we haven't had him on our show yet either. We gotta get him. It's yeah, he's a good interview. I watched him on the I watched the clip of him on the Alan Cox show. It was hilarious. He's so
yeah, I was listening. I don't normally check the Alan Cox show out because it's like normally I'm at work or whatever. But
yeah, I used to listen to it. I don't listen to it now that I like know Mary and Bill because I think it's weird to know things about people that you're friends with that they didn't tell you.
Oh yeah,
that's why it's weird. I try not to listen to any friends podcasts except for like people that are like out of town that I don't see on a regular basis.
Right.
It's just weird knowing shit about them that you're not supposed to. I think, it's.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Check out John on all the podcast platforms you can. Brown Petri Dish. Available wherever podcasts are sold. Batteries not included. We'll see you Friday. I don't know who's going to come out Friday, but it's getting close to the UK trip. So I'll probably just have another UK last minute planning meeting. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.